Greetings, sports fans, and welcome to the latest edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast on YouTube. I am Charles Taylor, and I have Patrick Brackett back with me. Say what's up, Patrick.
What's crappening, everybody?
All right, so Patrick might be a little bit salty, well, as usual, but we'll explain why. Well, you guys probably know why. Because the first topic we have to discuss, since we haven't been on here since that time, this is the Cleveland Cavaliers winning the NBA Finals over the Golden State Warriors. Patrick is barfing right now because he's going to have to admit how wrong he was, and so am I. So, well, Patrick, look, man, Cleveland came back. They did an impossible thing. They came back from 3-1 down to win the championship, and they won 2 of those games on the road in Oracle Arena, where Golden State, I think, has lost 3 games? Yeah, 3 games all year before this 3-game stretch where Cleveland won the last 3 games. So Cleveland came out and they just took it. They took it from them. We'll get to the reasons why we think maybe Golden State collapsed in a little bit. But first off, we'll give all the credit to Cleveland. And that also means your boy LeBron James, who won the unanimous MVP for the NBA Finals, was able to lead a team to break that Cleveland curse. They hadn't won a title since 1964. And LeBron lived up to his promise. He said he wanted to come back, get a title for Northeast Ohio, and he was able to lead the way. So, I mean, Patrick, it's hard to criticize the man. Now, wait, I will say this. He still flops, and he still whines on the court. We're not going to take that away. But as far as
criticizing,
yeah, well, yeah, I mean, there's no denying that. But but as far as just him just being a player on the court, man, his place in history is pretty well set. I mean, would you agree?
Well, I give the man props on this, man. Oh,
what's that, brother?
I give the man props on this. He came through. I mean, we talked about this over the phone several times, man. I mean, it's a good story. It's a real good story, man. He was heavily underdog, come in, done his thing, and now he gave Cleveland the freaking championship. Oh, this episode's gonna be hard for me. I'm just letting everybody know this is gonna be a hard episode for me.
I can see the pain in your face.
God, yeah, dude. And wait until we start talking about Jeff Teague. Oh my God, I'm pissed off with Atlanta. All teams, all around. Freaking Atlanta sucks, dude, right now. But look, you gotta give the man credit. He came in. He put it right, dude. We said it before. Nothing changed from last year to this year. LeBron's got the supporting cast, but it doesn't change the fact that he has to be great to win these finals. And last year he was great and he came up short. This year, again, he was great and they got the job done. It helps to see that Kyrie Irving would put up, out of 4 games, he put up 30+ points. You know, that really helped out LeBron James a lot. Kevin Love was to me personally, was a non-factor. He had a few rebounds here and there, and he had a couple of games, but to me, Kevin Love, they need to trade him. They need to trade him.
Tristan Thompson was a bigger factor than he was.
Yes, and that's where I was fixing to go with that. Thompson was a huge, a much bigger factor. And then like I said, the way Kyrie Irving played, J.R. Smith wasn't there. Kevin Love really wasn't there. The only 3 people that was there was Thompson, Irvin, and James. And James got a unanimous vote for MVP, and honestly, he probably deserved it. I mean, when you average 47 minutes, 46 minutes and 48 seconds on the court through the entire finals, yeah, you deserve it. I mean, you were on the court the entire game. So
Patrick, he led in every statistical category too, man. Can't forget
Yeah, and
that.
on top of that, I mean, he averaged. Well, he did get the double double. He missed it just shy of the triple double for the finals, right? Like a couple of assists or whatever it was. So I mean, he led everything, and you got to give him a lot of credit. At the same time, you're gonna have to criticize Golden State. Where was the Splash Brothers? You know, when you shoot 48% to 52%, whatever it was that they shot throughout the entire season, showed up in every single game. But then now you got 7 games in the finals and nowhere to be found. What's up with that? So you got to give Cleveland the credit, man. I mean, they played outstanding defense, and well, now we're sitting here saying, who in the East can rise up and beat Cleveland now? I mean, that's the question now is coming out. Who in the West can rise up and beat Cleveland now?
Well, one thing about Golden State, people were talking about who to blame. That's always the golden question. Everybody wants to look at the blame game. So a lot of people want to blame Draymond Green because he got suspended for Game 5. Look, they had a 3-1 lead. They had 3-1 lead. So they had ample amount of time, and they had ample opportunity to put Cleveland away and get it done. And yeah, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson didn't show up in Game 7 especially. So let's look at some of these stats off the top of my head now. But Draymond Green had 32 points in Game 7.
Mm-hmm. Also 14 rebounds.
Yeah, he almost had a triple-double. He had 32 points, 15 rebounds, and 9 assists.
Yep.
The points is more than Steph Curry and Klay Thompson combined.
Mm-hmm.
They had 31 points combined with the two of those. Also, Draymond Green, out of those 32 points, he hit 6 3-pointers. That's the same number the Splash Brothers hit combined. So I hate to do it because Steph Curry and Klay Thompson has been so great for 2 years. When it came down to Game 7, man, there was no more splash. They struggled. And another thing that I'll say, I gotta look at Steve Kerr, and I think he made a critical error. And this is harsh to him too, because he's been pretty much right on the money with all the coaching decisions the last couple of years. But he made a critical error to me when Golden State was up 87-83. The small ball lineup that we've gotten to know Golden State for, or had the pleasure actually of just looking at them and seeing how they were just kind of dissecting teams. But they had that small ball lineup in there and they were getting some momentum going. Looked like they might have been on the cusp of pulling away. But Steve Kerr put Festus Ezeli back in the game and he wasn't ready. He was not ready for that moment because he was getting blocked at the rim. He was late on defensive rotations. And it was just
on top of that, who they pulled out to put him in.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it was Harrison Barnes who went out.
Barnes.
So I think on that play, on that section where Ezeli was in there, it was LeBron James, pick and rolls. Golden State was switching everything. Well, now you have LeBron James going one-on-one with Festus Ezeli. He fouled LeBron on a 3 free throws, and then LeBron hit a 3 in his face. Just broke all the momentum there for Golden State, and then it was just a struggle from then on out. So the money guys for Golden State, if we're going to lay blame, if we're going to play the blame game, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and their coach, man. I just think they just kind of made some critical errors down the stretch.
Well, I agree. I mean, if we're going to play the blame game, it has to be them 3.
I mean, I don't want to. I'm giving Cleveland credit because, I mean, it takes a lot.
I'm giving Cleveland credit, too. I mean, Cleveland came in and beat them in Golden State twice. I mean, but this is the thing. This is the hardest part about being in a team sport is guess what? Just because Draymond Green almost had a triple-double, he didn't do enough. Splash Brothers didn't do enough. Harrison Barnes didn't do enough because, honestly, the way this game went, it should have never went to a Game 7. This should have been handled at Game 5 or Game 6. And since it did go to you, it should have been handled again. 3 separate occasions that this was a closeout game. 3-1 lead. This is a closeout game. 3 times and couldn't get the job done. This is critical errors on everybody in Golden State. I'm counting the fans. I'm counting everybody. Y'all gave Golden State a false sense of hope there. 73-9 don't mean crap unless you put a ring on your finger for it.
They're like the 2007 Patriots now, man.
2007 Patriots. That mean crap. You can go undefeated 15 times. You don't put a ring on your finger. That don't mean crap. That mean nothing. So if you're going to put together a season like that, you damn well better back it up with a ring. Plain and simple. Chicago did it. So now here we are. Are we still asking the question, is this Golden State Warriors team just as good as that 95 Chicago or 96 Chicago Bulls or whenever it was? No. No, they're not. They didn't put a ring on their finger. And I hope Steph Curry listens to this crap, because we shouldn't be having this conversation. This should not be a conversation. Golden State should have a back-to-back titles right now. And since they didn't close out, you don't blame one player. You don't blame 2 players. You don't blame 3 players. You don't blame the coach. You blame the entire team. Iguodala, guess what, bro? Sorry, guilty by association. You should have showed up. Draymond Green, yeah, you fouled. You got ejected, or you got suspended for Game 5. Guess what? Probably shouldn't have done that, bro.
Stop nut punching.
Steph Curry, dude. Seriously, I don't blame you for throwing your mouthpiece. That was a BS game anyway. But fact of the matter is, hold your composure. Your fault. Plain and simple.
And look, again, Draymond Green, stop nut punching. And you know what? And that's another thing.
Well, I mean, honestly, if they were going to call that, they should have suspended LeBron James too. But since LeBron James is a little baby, the way he is, he ain't going to get suspended for nothing. Stepping over him like that, dude, there was so much. Go around. He's not a big guy. Not with your leg span. He's a baby. He's a sissy. He's a effing sissy. Bring your butt down here. I'll show you how far. You won't need to flop with me. I'll just knock you down.
Well, Patrick, you are kind of a dirty player sometimes.
I am a dirty player. Go dunking on me. I'm gonna pull your shorts down. Shame, bitch.
I can see it in your face. But but look, no, Draymond Green again, man. That the whole thing with Game 5 and him getting suspended. Yeah, I mean, LeBron should not have stepped over him. I agree, but Draymond Green, you have to know better. You already know you're being looked at for stuff because of the other incidents that you had of hitting people in the nuts. So if you punch anywhere, if he would have pushed LeBron James on the shoulder, it's not a suspension. It's not a suspension. But since he did a little nut check, now they can go to the history card, and they warned him about it. So in that regard, I'm not going to blame the NBA for that. A lot of people want to blame the NBA for making this suspension because they said they want to say they took away a suspension. No, Draymond Green messed up. And that's where it's got to go. Draymond Green needs to stop hitting people in the nuts. But even with that, again, they had ample amount of opportunity, Patrick. And you're up 3-1. You have to close that out. You said we said the same thing for the Oklahoma City Thunder when they had this same Golden State team down 3-1, and it does not change. You have to put teams away when you have them down 3-1.
Absolutely. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, this goes in baseball. This goes in basketball. This goes in hockey. This goes in football. I mean, football, you get a one-shot chance. That's it. But, I mean, it's just like being up for 3 quarters, 21-0. You got to close that last quarter out, period. So, no excuse. Cleveland came in and they did their thing, and now they got a championship.
Yep, and you got to give credit to LeBron. But look, I'm sorry, Patrick, you got to do it. You got to do it. This man, something hit him, I think, in the last stretch, and then we can move on because I know you get sick.
It was Draymond Green hitting him in the balls.
Well, look, man, I know you get sick every time you talk about LeBron, so we're not going to keep it there too long. But
yeah, let's not.
But I think this is important, Patrick, to say somewhere down the line, and you mentioned it earlier, but somewhere down the line, I think LeBron told himself, look, it doesn't matter who's around. It doesn't matter if I do have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love and all these other guys to make a better supporting cast. I still have to be great. I still have to lead. That's the key. I have to lead the way. The team has to follow my lead. And he willed the team. He willed the team with don't get me wrong, with a lot of help from Kyrie Irving because he hit 41 points in that game by 2. But and he hit the big 3-pointer to put Cleveland up for good in game 7. But LeBron gets all the credit from me, man. I mean, I'm not gonna I won't hate on him as much. Put it that way. I'll still call him out for flopping. I'll still call him out for crying.
I'm also gonna call Cleveland out for I'm gonna call Cleveland out for it. $26 million over salary cap.
Well, yeah. I mean, they spent the money on the resources.
If I was commissioner, dog, under salary cap, or you forfeit games until you're under salary cap.
Patrick, that would be pretty much the half of the NBA if they did that. There's a lot of people over the salary cap.
Okay, then why make a salary cap? That's my point. Why make a salary cap if you're just going to be $20 million over?
No, I agree. I agree. But the main thing is the luxury tax. So if they're paying their luxury taxes and all that other stuff, then they can deal with those penalties. I agree with you.
It. No. All right, cool. For every $1 million you're over, you owe me $100 million.
I mean, I agree with you. There shouldn't be no perfect. Oh, and you think it's bad now, Patrick? You just wait. You wait till the right deal.
Now everything's going up $20 million. Oh shit!
And look, and cats like Bismarck Biyombo is going to get max deals. So, Patrick, let's move on.
NBA, dude. NBA is full of itself right now, man. At some point, man, I'm just going to stop watching it. Hawks, they trading off Jeff Teague, looking at trading off Al Horford.
Speaking of those trades, so we brought up Jeff Teague. I don't get what Atlanta's doing. I don't know. It seems like almost that they are trying to start over. If you're trading Jeff Teague away, first of all, if you're trading Jeff Teague away, you're telling us you have a lot of faith in Dennis Schroeder. I don't have a lot of faith in Dennis Schroeder. Not to be the starter. No.
Look, it's like this, man. 2 years ago, there was talks about rebuilding underground Atlanta. All right. This is going to be like a $1.4 billion project. Well, okay. So they get approved for it, right? So Atlanta's approved for it. They're rebuilding underground Atlanta. They're starting next year, right? Falcons or Hawks are like, oh, well, let's just trade everybody off and start brand new with underground Atlanta. Braves, same thing.
Real quick, Patrick, don't forget, also, since you're talking about rebuilding projects and stuff, the Falcons are about to be in their new stadium, too. Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Yep. I've seen the pictures of that bad boy. Looks pretty
bad, isn't it? Yeah. Dude, I'm excited. Only thing we need now is quarterback.
Back to the Hawks, Patrick. Sorry, I don't want to get you started on an Atlanta sports rant. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what you trading off Jeff Teague tells me you are 100% ready to roll with Schroeder. Doc, I'd much rather have a spider monkey. I mean, Dennis Schroeder is like, dude, Dennis Schroeder is like my Mario Chalmers, dude. This dude does not need to touch the ball.
He's real. Dennis Schroeder is really schizo, man. Because he can go off for 20 points, or he can
go off for -20. Yeah. I don't know
with 10 turnovers.
Yeah, this dude can average -20 points in a game. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping Kevin Durant goes to Golden State, and that frees up Russell Westbrook, and he comes to Atlanta.
Man, Atlanta look like they're going to need a lot of help because I don't know if they're going to keep Al Horford either.
They're not going to be able to.
Ugh.
Al Horford. I think he has one more year on his contract.
I thought he was free agent. Yeah, I thought he was a free agent.
No, he's on an opt. I think he has one more year on his contract, but he has the option to opt out before this year. So I think he will.
Yeah, because I think some teams are gonna make a play for him, man. Even if he is gonna, if he doesn't opt in, if he still wants to hold that option out there, I think some teams gonna make some plays for him. So Atlanta, I don't know what's going on, man. But yeah, Jeff Teague. So he goes to Indiana, and well, shoot, I don't know what Indiana's doing. So now you running like five guards out there in the lineup. You got Jeff Teague, you still got Monte Ellis, and you have
Running a
Paul
bunch of
George.
number ones out there.
Yeah,
Talk about small ball, right?
I know. So I don't know what Indiana's doing. Well, I guess they traded George Hill to the Jazz, so that makes room for Jeff Teague. So we'll see how that all turns out for Indiana, but they got to get some big people.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the exit of Hill or George. I'm sorry, George.
Yeah,
The
George
exit
Hill.
of George Hill and the incoming of Jeff Teague made Indiana better.
It does. I agree.
Me personally, I think it makes them better because now they have a solidified point guard now. Hill. I mean, I think he's like he's like a Kyrie Irving dude. He needs somebody better than him. You know what I mean? To push him to that next level.
He's a scorer first.
He's a scorer first, and that's it. And his defense is real. I mean, no matter. I think the Jazz are going to probably trade him off. Honestly, they probably should, and get some. And they're probably going to do something different. But I don't see Hill staying at the Utah Jazz. I still see it.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from on that one, man. I kind of find that hard to believe he's going to stay with Utah. So it might be like another trade piece to get somebody else.
And that's a good trade piece. I mean, you can hold that over somebody and possibly get two people for George Hill and push Utah into a more solidified number 9, ranking. I don't see them making the playoffs still, but I mean, they can make a run if they get rid of him and go for two people that can actually play together and spread the ball around. They just don't have anybody in Utah, and Hill ain't making that team better. He's just not. He's not a player that makes a team better. He is a great complement player to a team that is already good. He's not making that team better.
Well, the thing with Utah, I think George Hill can make them better if he's put in the right place. That's the thing. Like he has to be used right. And so if you play him a little bit at the 2, or maybe you could bring him off the bench to run the second unit, I think George Hill can make a little bit of a difference. The thing with Utah is they have a lot of young talent. When you look at Gordon Hayward, Sheldon Mack, Rudy Gobert, they have a lot of young talent on that team. So they still have to develop a lot. One thing George Hill can bring is a little bit more experience.
But there's no leadership. There's still no leadership there.
Right. So George Hill can kind of help there because he has been in the league for a little bit, and he's been to 2 Eastern Conference Finals with Indiana. Remember, they got beat by Miami when LeBron was down there, but he can bring a little bit of experience. And does Utah still need more? Yeah. I mean, I don't think they're going to compete for any Western Conference championships, but with that young talent, they can definitely compete for a playoff spot. George Hill can help them in that regard, but he's got to be used correctly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I guess my next question is does Utah have the coaching to use him correctly?
Well, they could. I mean, I guess it just depends on how he grows because he's a pretty young head coach too.
That's what I'm saying. Is he experienced enough to put George Hill in the right place? I mean, yeah, granted,
that remains to be seen. It remains to be seen. I mean, we don't know.
Me personally, I don't think he does. Maybe a few years down the road when he's had a little bit more experience. Right now, I just don't think he does. Now, granted, I would be pleasantly surprised because Utah is one of those teams that I really like to watch because in the past they were some cheating SOBs, dog. They were mean.
Talking about Karl Malone and John Stockton and them dudes.
Step
How
Hornacek.
people too.
They were some brutal cheaters, dude. I like to watch them just to watch them cheat, dude. They were some bad cheaters, and I would just laugh at it. I mean, I would much rather see that than all this flopping that I see now. This is a sissy league now. NBA is a sissy league now with all this flopping. I want to see contested shots. I don't want to see charging fouls under the rim.
Contested shots. Utah wasn't contested nothing. They were just dirty. You're just cutting people.
Yeah.
There's a difference there.
they were like, dude, you want to talk about somebody punching people in the nuts? Karl Malone was mean.
You know, Patrick.
You want to dunk on me? I'll let you dunk on me.
No, Patrick. Look, man. Let's move on. You know what? No, not getting into the dirtiness.
The only person that grabbed more balls than John Stockton is Matthew Dellavedova. Yeah, he's always grabbing somebody's balls. He is like 2 strokes from jerking somebody off.
Utah was they were pretty damn dirty back in the day. I couldn't stand that team back in the day. I couldn't, man.
I liked them because I wanted to watch them and just how dirty they were. And I'm like, how do you get away with it? How do you get away with it? But it was entertaining. That to me, that was reality TV.
Well, Patrick, let's talk about this trade from the Chicago Bulls. So they sent Derrick Rose to the New York Knicks. Now Chicago right now. Before we get on Derrick Rose going to the Knicks, Chicago's a mess. They are a hot mess, and they are about to lose everybody. Paul Gasol opted out of his deal. Joakim Noah, he probably won't be back. They traded Derrick Rose, and I don't even know if they're going to keep Jimmy Butler on the team. You would think they are, because you figure if they trade Derrick Rose away, then maybe they're saying that it's going to be Jimmy Butler's team to lead. But you just don't know. Chicago right now is a hot mess. As for Derrick Rose going to the Knicks, you know the old saying with Derrick Rose, is he going to stay healthy? I think the days of Derrick Rose being the 2010, 2011 MVP form, those days are probably past him. They just are. I mean, he's just been too beaten up. He's just been too injured. Can he still be a solid player? Yeah. And if you put him with Carmelo Anthony and Kristaps Porzingis, that could be a pretty nice threesome for the Knicks. Could be. Of course, Carmelo has been a little hurt himself. Porzingis, he's still gaining weight. I mean, just
before you know it, he's going to be over there Bartolo Colon and eating hot dogs all day.
So
him and Ben Roethlisberger, dude. Ben Roethlisberger is like the fastest fat man ever.
Well, Porzingis is still gaining weight. Maybe he do got to get on that Bartolo Colon diet a little bit, but he's still gaining weight.
Eddie Lacy. Add Eddie Lacy in there. He lost a lot of weight, but
yeah, man. After the coach called about, like, dude, you can't play at this weight. But with that trio there of Derrick Rose, Carmelo Anthony, and Porzingis, that the Knicks might be trying to work on something there. Now they got to get a whole team around them.
That ain't a trio. That's a deuce and a half.
Who's the half?
Derrick Rose.
Okay, all right.
He got one good leg, dude. And even then, that one's still iffy. That's a deuce and a half. That ain't a trio. That's a deuce and a half up there.
I think one thing I'll say about him is through time, he's starting to get, well, I guess a little bit more healthier. He actually played in 75% of the games this year. So he's starting maybe to work himself out. Again, I don't see him getting back to the MVP form that we remember from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But if you have Carmelo and you have Porzingis on the team with you, you really don't have to. You can still be solid. You can pick your spots. You can attack. But the Knicks, they still have a lot of stuff to do too. I mean, they got a new head coach coming in. Jeff Hornacek is coaching them now, and they have to build a roster around there. Yeah, I know.
Oh God, are you serious?
I know.
Carmelo Anthony ain't gonna be shit.
Carmelo, man. Look, I think Carmelo is growing up a little bit now because he's that opportunity to play at a high level. It's closing. It's just simply just closing out. So I think now, probably more than maybe even 3-4 years ago, he'll be willing to
share that spotlight.
So share a little bit of spotlight, pass the ball more, and stop trying to shoot. I think he'll be willing to do that, man. If these dudes are about winning a championship, like they all claim to be. Ooh, excuse me. Had a burp there. Sorry.
Man, but get it out.
I
You've
know,
been struggling with that for about 2 minutes now, dude.
Yeah, man, it got stuck. Sorry. But but if but if Carmelo is all about winning that championship, then hey, you got two guys who are capable of scoring. Well, okay, we got to see if Derrick Rose can become more than a half. But you have two guys who are capable of scoring and taking a lot of that load off of your shoulders. So you'll see if they on paper it looks pretty good, but you got to see if these guys
on court, man.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think Joakim Noah is probably going to move to New York as well. I mean, like you said, Chicago's a mess, but they've been a mess for years now, and they just I honestly think they just kind of denied the fact that they have been a mess, and just let it ride out. And at some point, it's just like all these Atlanta teams, dude. At some point, you got to know when to stop fooling yourself and go through the rebuild process. It's going to be a long time. You're looking at 2-3 years, possibly 4. That's really going to put you into the lottery kind of thing. Is it an ideal situation? No, but you're either going to pay for your championships like Cleveland did, or you're going to have to build it from a talent,
from the draft.
So it's unfortunate for Chicago because they did have a great team there. Let me tell you that they had a good team there. If Derrick Rose would have stayed healthy and he would have trusted his body more, it could have been a great team. Because, I mean, let's be honest, with Derrick Rose, that was one of the teams that gave LeBron James the biggest trouble was Derrick Rose. Can he do that again in New York? Time will tell. I mean, I'm giving him a deuce and a half, and if he can put up 30 points pretty consistently and shake Cleveland's confidence, might consider that a trio up there. But until then, I can't give it not to Derrick Rose, not right now. I want to, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, man, I mean, we'll be asking this question when the season starts in October, late October, early November. Who in the East now and in the NBA, who is going to rise up and beat Cleveland? I mean, I think New York with that trade. I think what they're doing by trading for Derrick Rose is they are showing they are trying to get to a level of trying to compete there. They still have to do other moves. They have to build the team. They have to get a roster together there, of course. But that's what a move like that says. You don't trade for Derrick Rose just to say you're just hoping to be average.
Second best, yeah.
Yeah, so you're trying to do something, and we'll see what Bill Jackson does. We'll see if he can put together a roster around them, and we'll see what happens. But it'll probably be, again, the same story that we're all that. Man, I've been asking for a year who's going to beat Cleveland in the East. So, well, Patrick,
some big trades, man. I mean, we're looking at Kevin Durant, who's shopping around and testing out his his options. And
Yeah, we'll see the free agent signings and who goes where. And I mean, a Durant signing, of course, can shift the balance of power, of course. So,
yeah,
so we'll see what happens there. But Patrick, real quick, let's talk about the NBA draft. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know all these players who got drafted. I know a good amount of them, but man, there was a lot of foreign players who got taken. So
yeah,
I was so I was looking. I said, man, who are these dudes?
dude. You were saying you should have heard the word that would come out. I was like, where the hell is this guy from? I mean, there were so many that were coming from overseas that I was shocked. I just didn't know where any of it. I honestly only knew maybe I only heard about 25% of the names. The other 75, I was lost.
Well, the main thing is with getting foreign players, it's just continuing the shift. You're getting tall, 6'10", 6'9", 6'10", 6'11" guys who can shoot and can spread the floor. And that's what you see a lot from those overseas leagues. So you get all these tall guys who can spread the floor because it's not like your traditional power forward who you think of as the beast in there who muscle you and push you out of the lane for rebounds and just bully you for position. Now it's these guys, which probably started when Dirk Nowitzki came out, but I mean there was other stretch forward guys, but when Dirk Nowitzki came out from overseas, man, from Germany, yeah, I mean that's when that whole thing really started to take
That
off.
thing blew up.
Yeah, I mean, when you get a guy who can shoot the three and he's 7 feet, yeah, let's try to get all these dudes like that. And
And
that's pretty much
fast.
the continuation of it with this draft.
Yeah, and I mean I can see that. Like I said, there was a lot of people I didn't know of. There was a lot of people, or there was a few people that I knew of. You know, of course, Simmons going to Philadelphia.
Let's see how long they keep him.
Yeah, I bet he's traded before the end of the season.
Great deadline.
Yeah, Ingram going to Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
and what Los Angeles is trying to do with, I mean, you know, I can see Ingram being that. I mean, I'm not going to say he's going to put up numbers like Kobe Bryant or anything like that, but I can see him being that next Kobe Bryant, though, that person that they put into the lineup, and he can be a solid player for LA for years. You know what I'm saying? And then Hield going to New Orleans.
Yeah, Buddy Hield, yes.
Yeah. So, dude, New Orleans might be somebody to mess with next year.
Got to stay healthy.
Got to stay healthy, of course, but I mean, with that lineup that they're putting together, man, I mean, you can see that they may be trying to make some noise there. But we'll see how long Philadelphia keeps Simmons. About the time he drops 40 points, 15, 16 rebounds, and 11 assists and 12 blocks, motherfucker get traded.
Two teams.
My part on the language.
No. Two teams that you got to keep an eye on, especially in the draft. Well, for the draft when it was going on, and then coming up on free agency. So the Boston Celtics, they had eight draft picks in this draft. Eight. So you
And
have eight draft picks.
3 in the first round.
Yeah, three. Yeah, eight draft picks, and you have a lot of assets already on the team. Boston is due. I mean, they are due to make another trade and get somebody, like some sort of big time free agent. They have way too many assets there. Way too many.
I looked it up, man. Philadelphia had 3 picks in the first round. Boston had 3 picks in the first round. Toronto had 2.
And then in the second round,
had 3.
yeah. so, I mean, that's a lot of picks. And look, and Philly's going to continue to trust the process, so they're going to trade to get more draft choices. So, so, so Philly's going to continue to stockpile, but Boston is trying to build something. They have a lot of young talent there, and for this free agency period, man, they're to me, there's no way they're going to keep that team together as it is right now. It's just too many assets.
Yeah,
they're trading somebody.
Denver had 4 picks in the first round.
And Denver had 4 picks in the first round. So, I mean, it's like most of your first round was constructed with 4 teams.
Yeah. What's the point in a lottery pick for Philadelphia when you got teams that's got what do you Philadelphia picks for the first pick and then Denver picks for the next 23 picks? I mean, hey, yeah, you got Ben Simmons, but we got the rest of college. So take Ben Simmons, we're good. We'll take all the rest of these other guys, and you take your Ben Simmons, and I'll take the rest of college. So yeah, good. We're Denver. Woo. Way to get that lottery, dude. But hey, I mean, I think it's a good pickup for Philly. But like you said, let's see if they even keep him. I doubt they will. Like I said, as soon as he hits that quadruple double, they're trading him because they're like, whoa. We just won by 30, dude. We can't have that.
We're still Tankosaurus out here.
Well, who am I going to LA for? Well, you're just going to have to go play with Brandon Ingram and do your thing over there, and hopefully y'all win the championship. Don't bring that championship over here to the East. Keep it over there on the West. Really, like, I don't even know what I'm wondering. I don't want to ring. It weighs my hand down. I don't like it. So by the time he drops that quadruple double, you get traded to LA, and LA will take the ring.
Well, Patrick, before we conclude this webcast, because we'll jump more on the free agency and stuff when it actually kicks off. I think it kicks off Friday, July 1st. So we'll get more onto that. But before we leave, I want to talk about the Chicago Cubs because so you and we both picked the Chicago Cubs to win the World Series, beating the Texas Rangers in the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are quick to try to give the Chicago Cubs the title. And look, man, I mean, the bottom line right now, no need for panic at all. But the bottom line right now, they don't even have the most wins in the major leagues right now. The Giants are right there with them, and the Rangers, last time I checked, had the most wins. Now, Chicago did win tonight, so they
no Chicago. Here, I'm pulling it up right now.
It should be 49 wins for Chicago right now.
49 wins for San Francisco. San Francisco is 49-28. Chicago is 49-26. So Chicago actually has the best record.
Yes.
In baseball. But Texas is right behind them with 49-27.
49-27. Okay. So again, I know, Chicago does. I mean, statistically speaking, by a half a game, they have the best record in the league. But I'm just saying, you have to be careful to say what a lot of these analysts are saying. Like the Cubs are in another league. Now, do they have great talent? Yes, they do. We know the talent they have on that team. We know the depth of the pitching staff. They probably need one more arm in the bullpen to kind of solidify things. But Chicago's, they're not quite there yet. All right, we have to remember they're not even a team to beat right now in the National League because they didn't come out of the National League. So I mean, so we have to remember that. I'm just saying, let's pump the brakes. I think Chicago, of course, will come out. I'm not going away from the pick by any means. Hell, I'm the one who was an advocate of the Chicago Cubs for all these years. You know, I ain't going nowhere. but we have let's let them earn it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's let them play. Yeah, I mean, it's plain and simple, man. I'm just sitting here looking at this.
And it's an even year for the Giants.
And it's an even year for the Giants. Plus, Taylor Swift just had a breakup, and she's probably going to put out a CD, which makes San Francisco even that much more of a popular pick. All right? But like you said, let's pump the brakes just for a second. just for a second, because let's look at some statistics, like recent 10 games. Chicago 4-6, Texas 8-2, Texas at home 28-12, Chicago 25-11, Texas Rangers 21-15 on the road, Chicago 24-15 on the road. So before we start handing this team the World Series, they still got to get through the National League. All right.
Look, they just lost 3 out of 4 games in Miami, Patrick. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah, but past that, it's a long season. There's 162 games. We're still looking at St. Louis, and we're still looking at San Francisco. These two teams, they can put up some numbers, especially if they get into the playoffs. It's a different league in playoffs. Pittsburgh, I know a lot of people are like, well, we got Pittsburgh, but I'm not really sold on Pittsburgh.
They don't have enough offense.
I don't see anybody in the East, honestly. Washington is in front right now by 3.5 games. And if this team was as good as everybody had advertised, this team should probably be in Chicago's. This team should be in Chicago's situation where they're 10 plus up.
Same thing as Pittsburgh. They don't have enough offense.
They don't have enough offense. Washington, they're just not a good enough team. They're not. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at them, and they're barely stringing wins together. I mean,
they lost 6 or 7 in a row before they won yesterday in Milwaukee.
Yeah, to Milwaukee. I mean, Milwaukee, seriously. I mean, let's pump the brakes. I mean, I honestly, I can say it right now. I'm just, who can rise? It's like Cleveland. Like I told you in the conversation on the phone, it's like Cleveland. Who can rise up and beat Chicago in a 7-game series? I can only think of 2 teams that possibly can do that. St. Louis, who is a grinding team anyway, and San Francisco out of the National League. That's it. And if we want to go into World Series, we're looking at a World Series. The Cubs make it. I'm only looking at possibly 1, maybe 2 teams that could possibly beat them in a 7-game series. And I'm looking at Texas and Baltimore. Those 2 teams are, I mean, they are flat out playing good ball. So let's see how the season goes. I mean, it's really early. I mean, what are we, 70 games? I mean, we're probably just now facing start getting ready to roll up on All-Star.
We got the All-Star break coming in 2 weeks.
So, I mean, let's see how All-Star goes. Let's see how things go after All-Star, because that's when you're going to start seeing these. You'll start seeing these teams drop off pretty quickly, and we'll be able
to trade deadline too.
Trade deadline, exactly. So let's see. I mean, I got Chicago winning the World Series. I got them winning the World Series against Texas in 7. With that said, don't be surprised. I won't be surprised one bit if Rangers win the World Series. But let's see how it goes.
Well, all right then, Patrick. Well then, I guess that will conclude this edition of the Breath of Fresh Air on YouTube. Yeah, we should be back with one next week. I got a lot of things coming up, so we'll see how things go. We've been pretty busy the last couple of weeks, so you'll know how things are going to slow down, but we'll try to get on here as much as possible. In the meantime, go on Facebook, go on Google Plus, come on YouTube, here on YouTube, and check out this episode and some of the other ones from the past as well. And we'll come. You already know. So you know what I'm about to say. So
you don't know? Now you know.
Now you know. The Twitter handles will be coming. So
mine's already raw.
You got the Twitter handles. You just gotta start posting it.
Mine's already raw. I'm ready.
So until then, everybody take it easy. Oh, and Patrick, real quick, man, I want to send a shout out to Stan. He couldn't join us because, man, he got a baby coming.
Yeah, so, little boy, man. Excited for him. Congratulations, Stan. Yeah, huge shout out. Enjoy them kids, man. They awesome.
Exactly. And Stan, the door is always open for you to come on the show, man, no matter what. In the meantime, enjoy the birth of your newborn, and we look forward to getting you back on the show. And for everybody else, we will talk to you probably later on in the week, but if not, then you'll know why. So, so everybody take care, have a good week, and hopefully we'll see you later on. Take care.